Hello, everybody, and welcome to this eMarketeer Academy. Thanks for joining today for some inspiration on how to use maybe a new tool in eMarketeer that you haven't used before, or if you have built mobile apps before, get better at it and get some inspiration and ask some questions about what you could be doing with your apps and how to change things in the app that you may not have known before, and so on. So lots of inspiration coming your way today. People are locking in a frenzy. We're going to be quite a lot of people. It's been a while since we did this webinar on mobile apps, and I guess that's why we've got a lot of curiosity going on there on how to get apps into these phones that we live with every day, and that allows us to really tap into the mobile lifestyle of our customers and prospects and staff, depending on what we're going to use our app for. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I should have my wee face there on the cam, and my slides should be showing. I hope that everything looks just fine your end. So thanks everybody for being here. We're going to talk about how to build mobile apps for your customers, for your staff members, for your colleagues, maybe for your next birthday party, who knows. It's very easy to do, and I'm going to show you how to go about building apps in eMarketeer today. So you may be here because you're already an eMarketeer user, which is fine, or you may be here just because you're curious about apps and don't know anything about eMarketeer at all, which is also fine. But do mind that this is going to be quite hands-on, so we're going to spend a lot of time in eMarketeer working with the editor on building apps. So just wanted to let you know that that's the agenda for today. My name is Klaus. I'm one of the speakers here at the eMarketeer Academy. I work in the marketing team as a chief evangelist, which basically means that I'm a traveling loudspeaker. I talk about our product, our customers, about giving inspiration to you guys who are working with marketing and trying to make best do with your marketing tools, your sales teams, your CRM tools, and make everything really play nicely together. So hopefully that is what I'm able to do for you guys today as well, focusing on apps. Do reach out to me on LinkedIn, email, whatever. Let me know what you think about the webinar. Let me know if you have any questions about eMarketeer or marketing in general, because first and foremost, I'm a marketeer like so many of you guys as well. So shoot me a line in whichever channel you prefer, and I'd be happy to go into to a chat with you. Today, we're going to be about an hour or so on the webinar, depending on how many questions you guys have. You will all be muted, but do go ahead and use the questions box on the right-hand side of your screen. Type in your questions or comments there. Nobody can see it. It will all be anonymous, so don't be shy. But this is just really a lot more interesting if we have some kind of dialogue going on. So let me know what your questions are. Let me know if you already have an app in mind that you thought about building. I would love to know that. Just type in the question there, and that is a little bit of inspiration for me as we go through the presentation here. So if you have an app idea top of mind, shoot it in the questions box and let me see that the technology works for us there. You can submit questions at any time. I will try to pick up the relevant questions as I go, and then we have a questions and answers session at the very end there. If I miss your question, I promise to follow up by email. So no excuses for not letting me know what you think and what you would like to know more about. I'm recording the webinar, so you can always go back and see some details there, or you can share it with a colleague or whomever where you think this might be relevant. So that is it for the practicalities. Right, so today we're going to look at mobile apps, as mentioned. So apps that are on your phone, on your colleagues' phones, on your customers and prospects' phones for the benefit of them having the information that you think is relevant for them right there in their pocket. But keep in mind that the mobile apps is just a piece of all of the things that make up eMarketeer. So while we're focusing on the mobile apps, it still plays into the entire ecosystem of eMarketeer, the emails, the SMSs, the surveys, the marketing automation, the reporting, and so on. So it's just another widget there in your arsenal that allows you to communicate with your target group, be it an internal target group with colleagues or indeed customers and prospects there. And the kicker here is, and I know that I wrote that to you in your invites, that if you can do an email, if you can do a newsletter or similar in eMarketeer, you can also do a mobile app. And that's obviously the beauty of this, that you know the tools already. It is just using the tools for a new scenario. Cool. So let's move on and look at the objectives here. So the objectives is to look at a couple of examples, cases of apps that we've made together with customers, or the customers have built themselves, to get some ideas going on what types of app you could be doing. And again, let me know in the questions box if you're already kind of have a draft of an idea or a scatter thought just about an app, then I could bring those in as inspiration as we go. So we're going to look at some examples, and then we're going to learn how to build and distribute an app in eMarketeer, and hopefully inspire you to build your very first app. Now, again, this may be daunting. I promise you it's not technical, it's not complicated. You can absolutely do it, but maybe it's daunting because you think, is this relevant for my target group? Will my customers appreciate it? I'm not doing any events. Why should I care about an app? Well, as I mentioned, make an app for your colleagues, make an app for your next birthday party, whatever it is, just to get the inspiration going and see the value of being able to do apps quite easily yourself. So, first off, what is an app? And why do I keep saying mobile apps? I mean, are there any other apps? And what is the difference between different mobile apps? We want to get that out of the way first, because obviously on your phone, you have your calendar app, you have your mail app, you have your Instagram and Facebook and so on. And these are what are called native apps. These are built for your specific phone, for your specific brand, be it an Android or an iPhone or whatever. So these are built and downloaded on to the app, so they kind of live on the device, they live on your phone. They can work both offline and online if they have the capabilities for that. They're specific to the platform that you've built it for. So if you build an iPhone app, it only works on iPhone, and if you build an Android app, it only works there. You have to go through an app store to distribute it, which means that it has to follow certain rules. You have to know how to distribute it via Google Play or via the Apple App Store and so on. And it requires development skills. So these are all things to think about when you look at which type of app do I want to do. So the apps many of the apps you have on your phone are really these native apps that are platform specific and that would require developers to build them. And then on the other hand, we have web apps, which is kind of a hybrid, where the app is actually living in the browser on the phone, on the smartphone. So it works in the browser, which means that you only have to build one app to every platform, to all of the platforms out there. You don't have to build them for specific platforms. As long as they have a smartphone with a browser on it, your app will run there. Now it will run full screen, and will look like an app, it will feel like an app, but it just runs in the browser, which makes it much more easy for you to develop for your customers there. It works online and even offline for the phones that have cached the opportunity to cache a web page. It also works offline as well, but primarily it works online as it runs through the browser. It's platform agnostic, which is just fancy talk for saying when you build your app, you don't have to care about which platform your customers will be using the app on, whether it's an Android phone or an Apple phone or an iPad or any other tablet. It will just work there. The app is distributed via link. So either you can send it via text message or via an email, or you can have a QR code where people can scan the QR code so you can get the app. The trick here is that you decide when and how the app is distributed. You don't have to go through app stores. There are no approval processes, and there are no costs associated with distributing the app. And lastly, it requires no skills, at least no other skills than the ones you already have, if you're used to working with eMarketeer. All right, so let's have a look at different app examples, because if you haven't built an app or you haven't considered an app for your as a channel for your marketing, here are just some examples, and we're going to look at some concrete examples as well. The most obvious one, and the first thing that people think about, is an event app. So if you go to an event today, you're very likely to have received some kind of an app some kind of app for the event where you have the agenda and the participants and maybe some evaluations and stuff like that. So you kind of have your app program or app agenda right there on your the event app on your phone. And that is also one of the biggest use cases for apps, but there are many others like brochures and product documentation. So if you're selling physical products and you want to have manuals and videos and instructions and frequently asked questions, you can put all of that into an app and send it to your customers after they've purchased your products or your services, and then they always have the up-to-date information on their phone. Remember, when you update the app in eMarketeer, it is automatically updated on the phone as well. Maybe you want to do staff onboarding, so you create apps for your colleagues that could contain, the staff handbook, the human resource guidelines, frequently asked questions, office hours, pictures of colleagues, whatever it is that would be nice to send to a new colleague to bring kind of your company, your identity onto the phone of the new employee, of your new colleague. That's a fun way to use an app for sure. Human resource, again, I mentioned staff handbook and office policies. Maybe you could add order forms and stuff like that for human resource purposes. You can add those into the app as well. Maybe you want to have, you do a trade show and you want to have an information app for the people participating, not only the customers, but also the staff participating at the event or at the trade show. When do you need to be at the booth? How does the booth design look? Which presentations do we have available? All of that stuff you can put into an app and send to your colleagues there. So as you can see, there are just a lot of different ways you can use apps to tap into the mobile lifestyle of your target group, be it customers or staff. And I'll show you how you can change the templates we have to fit into your purpose there. So first example we're going to look at is an event app, because that is the template that we have in eMarketeer. It's designed for events, and it is the primary use case, I would say, for our customers. It is building event apps. So in this case, our customer, they had this challenge that they had a big conference covering 2 days with lots of different breakout sessions and different presentations that the participants could sign up for. As I mentioned here, 40 breakout sessions and tons of content. So they wanted to find a new way of making all of that content manageable and give the participants a good overview. So the solution was an event app with a personalized agenda. So depending on what the event participant had signed up for prior to the event, the app would contain personalized agendas that covered all of these different aspects. It was quite successful. More than 90% of the event participants used the apps throughout the event. And the event had more than 350 unique users during the event there. And as you can see, more than 4,500 page views, so different pages viewed in the app across these 350 users there. So quite an amazing adoption there. And it does simple things like help you navigate among all of the different content and booths and presentations that you may have on an event in a nice overview there, personalized for the app user. Again, you control the distribution of the app, so you know exactly which person is getting the app. So you can personalize the content with names, with barcodes, with personalized agendas, and much more in the individual apps there. So pretty sweet. In this case, they also had a party at the evening, and you could even see which table and which other event goers would be sitting at your table in the app there. It also used evaluations, again, using eMarketeer forms within the app, and you could evaluate the event as the event unfolded, which means that instead of evaluating the event the day after the event or the week after, during the event, people were encouraged to use the app to evaluate what was going on at the event. So things like there's no more coffee in meeting room 4, or the room is too warm, or whatever it was, you could get this instant feedback and instant evaluation through the app, so you could actually fix and correct and improve things during the 2-day event, instead of just finding out a few days later that you could have done better with certain details there. Not only that, the quality of the feedback you get when you gather the feedback on the spot is better because people have top of mind the experience, the quality, and they are more eager to give you their feedback when they're actually at the event than 3 days after the fact, and they're already doing their daily lives there. So the app was obviously completely designed to meet the event requirements with regards to the design and look and feel, and all of these different pages with agendas and quizzes and directions and Google Maps and videos and whatnot were included in the app. Another scenario is another customer of ours, Urgo, which is an education institution. They've built an app for all of their students, and their challenge was that these people had a very mobile lifestyle. I guess we all do. There's no reason in kind of delineating that anymore. So before the app, only kind of a third of their target group of their students kind of picked up on the messages that they distributed on their intranet or email campaigns. So they really were looking for a way to tap into the lifestyle of the students, where they would make sure that they would pick up on the messages and the information that they shared. So they did a mobile app for the students, and today they reach pretty much 100% of the students with the app, and they use it daily there. So very, very popular app, both for the people doing the app and for the students enjoying the app. What it did here for this education institution was, for the different study lines, they would build the different apps that would contain curriculum, timetables, information pages, staff pages, frequently asked questions, lunch menus, whatnot, could be put into the app and sent to the students before they started on the education institution. So it was really one place for all of the information that you needed as a student to figure out what was going on there. And they had one person building these apps and distributing them to the students. And once it's out, it's always updated when people change stuff inside eMarketeer. It's become an integral part of their channel strategy, which means that they use the app, but they still also use all of the other parts of eMarketeer, so the emails and the SMSs, and the surveys, the landing pages, plus the app. And it really gives this quite homogeneous brand experience for the users and the customers, in this case, the students. And the quote from the principal there was that everything looks like it is fresh out of a marketing agency, but it's all of their own staff doing all of these things. So it's quite cool to be able to do that kind of quality yourself. All right, so let's have a look at building an app in eMarketeer and what really goes into that work. Right, so just maybe have a peek at the questions box to see if you already have some app ideas that are interesting to you. Here's Arlette saying, we're investigating an app to reach our warehouse employees that don't have a corporate email account. That's a fantastic use case, Arlette. Maybe you have employee groups that are not sitting at their desk working at their computer every day. They always have their phone with them. So if you want to reach that target group, that group of your colleagues or employees, an app is a fantastic way to do that. We had a cruise company a couple of years ago that hired kind of thousands of seasoned workers every year, and to get them onboarded, no pun intended, but to get them onboarded onto the policies of the company, safety procedures, dress codes, and so on, they built an app and sent that to all of these seasonal workers before they started, and they would have all of the information in the app there. So that's a great use case, Arlette. I really like that example. So if you have other use cases out there, let me know. There are some human resource examples here. So the staff handbook is being picked up by you guys, and I have an example of a staff app that I would like to show you. So hopefully that could be inspirational there as well. So let's just pick up on that one actually, and that's the first example I have here, and then I'll move into showing you how you build the app. So let's first get familiar with how the app looks in eMarketeer. So we're in eMarketeer. You're familiar with the interface, and if not, welcome to eMarketeer. If this is your first peek, this is how we look. I'm going to edit an app I have here just to give you an idea of the anatomy, and then we'll look at how the app looks on the phone. So when I open up my app here in eMarketeer, you'll be familiar with the editor. The editor is exactly the same as when you're doing emails and landing pages and so on. So there's nothing new here. The difference is that the app, it looks very, very long. When you scroll down, it looks very, very long. It's because you see all of the content that is in the app. You see that on the screen here in the editor, but it is different pages, as I will show you when I bring up the app on my phone. So the first page here is the index page. That will be kind of the home page of the app. And from this, you navigate to the different sub pages that you have underneath here when you scroll. So for instance, the colleagues page, the agenda page here is the agenda page down here, and the about page down here, and the colleagues, and so on. Now, if you want to change anything, you simply double click to bring up the editor, and I will go through all of these features, or a lot of these features when we create our very first app. But just like you're used to with working with emails or other things in eMarketeer, if you click a block, you will be able to edit the content of the block, and you will be able to see which items you have for this specific block that you can change and edit. It's drag and drop, so you can move things around just like you're used to in the editor. In an app, you can basically add everything that you can add in a browser. So images, video, script, tables, live streaming even. There's just a lot of things you can do in HTML in your apps here, and we've tried to make it as easy as possible to do so. So working with images, you have the image editor built in, you have the eMarketeer image library there with tons of stock photos, and you can upload your own images that will be brought into the app. So let's look at this app on the phone so we kind of can see where how things look. So I'm just going to bring up my phone on the screen here. Just a sec. And get this on the screen so you can see how the app looks on the phone real quick. Okay, so it should be coming onto the screen. Let's see. Here we are. So this is my phone. Yeah, and it's a big mess, but you know, it's what a phone is all about. So here I have my home screen here, and you can see the app here is called Welcome. It sits on the home screen just like all of the other apps there. And when I tap the app, it opens up full screen. So the browser navigation and all of that stuff has disappeared, right? And you can see the different sections that I had in the editor. They are the first screen here on the app. Now you can't see where I actually click on the phone. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Agenda. And as I do that, the agenda page slides open and I can look through the agenda here. You can see the top part up here with navigation and icons, and I can click the arrow there to go back to the main page. So that's basically how the app operates. You have a home screen, and then you can navigate to sub pages in the apps that can contain navigation, for instance, Google Maps here, that could contain videos from YouTube that are just dropped in, so I can watch the videos in the app, pictures of my colleagues or whatever it is. So in this case, a nice staff app that I could send to colleagues and keep the app updated with everything that's relevant to know about office hours or specific lunch deals or events that are going on. Just a nice way to keep everybody up to speed on what's going on here. So this is just an example to get you familiar with the anatomy of how the app looks on the phone and how the app looks in eMarketeer when you actually go ahead and edit it. All right, I hope that makes sense, just to get an idea of how the app looks here compared to on your phone. Now, if you don't have the fancy tool like the Reflector app here to show the app on screen, I'm just going to show you a wee trick here that I like to do as well. It's to grab my work in progress link here, copy the link of the work that I'm doing here. And then in Chrome, which is my browser of choice, you can just paste in the URL, and you can actually have Chrome run the web page in a phone. And you do that by opening the, just let me do it on another one here to see, let's just paste the URL here. So here the app shows as a web page. If I click inspect in Chrome, and I click the phone device icons down here, I can choose which device I want to see the app in, and then Chrome here will actually kind of mimic how the app will look on a phone, which gives me an idea of the navigation, of the layout, of the sizes of my screens, and so on. So that's a pretty neat feature. If you don't want to use your own phone, you can simply use your browser, hit the inspect menu item in Chrome, and select a phone that you would like to look look at your web page on. So that's a pretty neat way of reviewing your app as you go by, or sharing this link with a colleague so they can have a look at the app as well. I just wanted to mention that. I thought that was kind of a neat way to look at your app. Okay, let's start with from scratch building an app and see what the options are for us when we go ahead and change things in there. So when you're in your campaign, you've got the mobile app option over here, obviously in the left-hand side, where you add emails, forms, web pages, and so on. You just click mobile app, and want to give your apps a name. There we go, webinar. And I've got a couple of templates that you can start off with. We launched a Corona information app. Maybe we should discard of that template now, as hopefully we are in a post-pandemic situation here. So I want to focus on these three here: event app, basic 1 and 2, and the advanced one. The basic 1 and 2 are you have limited capabilities of really changing and adapting the design, and the advanced one you can really go to town, change everything in the app there. So that's the one that I'm going to use as an example there. But in a nutshell, the anatomy, the layout of the app is similar across these three. So I'm going to take this one and click create. And then I'm in the eMarketeer editor, just as you're familiar with from your other projects and your emails. You have the left-hand side over here, where you can add more content and move content around. You can open up the style sheet, where you can change colors and fonts. You can enable developer mode, so you can tweak code, CSS, HTML, and so on. And you can share your work in progress, just as I showed before. We can grab the link to your app. And then in the middle here, you have the app as it is presented in the template. Now, when you double click the home page here of the app, you will have a lot of options over here that I just want to highlight. The first part here is really where you decide which parts do I want to include in the app. Right now, as you can see, you have a bunch of icons here. Let's say I don't need the evaluate section here. I can say no to that one over here. And as I save, that icon will disappear. So here's where I switch on or off the different pages that I want in my app. And I can always switch them back on. Now, just the fact that it's called evaluate, I could obviously change all of that, all of the text here, even the icons can be changed. So you're not limited to the stuff that we've thought up here. The layout of the home screen is changed at the top part here, where you have navigation menu. Right now, icons has been chosen. I have two other options: icon list, which when I save switches to this view, which is kind of more of a list with the icons on the left, or I can go for lists and I will ditch the icons and just have buttons instead. So those are a couple of the different layout options that I have. I also have the ability to have a header on the home page. You see a header on all of the sub pages. This is the header on the sub pages. I can include that header as well by switching it on if I want, if that makes sense in my scenario here. Typically, the first page you would want to make a little bit different, so we've enabled that to be deselected up here. So you can switch on and off pages. You can change the fonts of the text here if you want to. And then underneath, you have different options for changing the different content here. And as you see, when you click the tabs here, the corresponding item will flash over here. You can also click on the screen. Let's say I wanted to change the agenda title here. I can click that, and then I have the text for that, and I can call that program instead and click save, and then the corresponding field would change. So you can go ahead and change all of the different things on the home page here. And as you change program here, I went from agenda to program, you will see that the corresponding subpage also changed the title here. So it all ties together really nicely. So that's the first thing you want to do, is you want to make sure that you think about what kind of content you want on your app here, and activate or deactivate the pages you don't need. Go ahead and change the titles there to match what you would like. There's also a sorry, not here. On the colors and fonts over here, I can change all of the colors and the background images of my entire app. So if I wanted to go ahead and style this to a specific event or to my brand design guidelines, I can go ahead and do that. So let's play around with this app a little bit. As you can see, in this app, we've used the background image, and you have that here. I can go ahead and choose another image just to change the look and feel a little bit. Let's say we wanted to do a shipping event. Bring in a nice little ship there. Maybe I want to change the colors of the icon. Again, I'm no designer, and if you're a designer, I truly apologize for hurting your eyes. I'm just trying my best here, showing you how you can edit and add the changes to your app here. So as you can see, I could change the colors of the icons. I also have the different parts of the app here, like the subpage title background and the navigation. I could change those as well to match. Let me just grab that color code that I just chose there, put that in there, and highlight text background there, save that. And you'll see now the highlight style has changed. Maybe I want to change the back arrow there on the navigation as well. Wait, sorry. There we go. And now the navigation arrow changes as well. So just with a very few clicks, you can see that the app starts taking shape and changing the look and feel here. You also have other settings like the transparency. As you can see at the background here, I can kind of see through the subpage background, and I can change the transparency there to make the subpages less or more transparent. I can darken or lighten the look and feel. So play around with the styles settings on the colors and fonts tab here to really change the look and feel of your app. Let's go back to the home page here and grab some of the other items I have available there. Gonna go ahead and choose another image there instead of car show. Let's see if we can find a logo there. Use another logo. There we go. Maybe also change the logo on the sub pages so that fits as well. There we go. Maybe bring in some text here on my homepage, event name. Location. Something like that. Save, and that will be brought into my home screen. So I can start slowly but surely adding content to my app, changing the way things look, changing the background images and so on to make the app appear as I want it to. And again, just grab the share and work progress, copy the link, and then in my browser here, I'm just going to paste in that link, and it will update, and I will see the app as it looks on your phone right now. And I can start navigating. So that's pretty neat. Let's go to, down to some of the other icons here, or the other settings here on the home page. At the very bottom here, I have what's called web app icon. That's because when you download the app on your phone, or your target group is actually using the app on their phone and they're saving it to the home screen, you will have the ability to add your own icon there, so it really stands out with your logo. So this is where you would be adding your own icon for the app. And let me just show you. this is the one that I'm talking about. So this is the icon that you can decide should go on the phone. So if I just nick into a demo app folder, you can see here we are. These are all eMarketeer apps, and they have individual icons for the individual events and so on. And that's what you would be adding at the web app icon space. Ideally, you should be adding a couple of different sizes so that the icon looks great on the different phone sizes and phone models out there, and eMarketeer will make sure to present the best version of the icon there. You also have a fav icon, which is the icon that you see in the browser up here or in the bookmarks list on the phones there. So that is something to put in there as well. All right, so let's see. I think that pretty much covers the first page there. That gives you a lot of these options. Now, as you then scroll down, you have the different pages where you have the different content blocks you can add. So whenever you see the plus sign here, you can add new content blocks to that subpage. And here you have the web app blocks we've made available: accordions, agenda rows, buttons, images, media embeds for your Google Maps or Vimeo videos. We've made a specific YouTube video embed block for this app because we can present YouTube videos in an even better way there. I'll show you that in a second. Image blocks and so on. Now, again, all of these will change when I add a button. It will change to match the design that I've already added, and we can even build custom blocks for you as well. So you're not limited to what you're seeing here. We can do, well, we can pretty much go bananas designing blocks for you guys. So don't be limited to what's here if you have some ideas that you wanna use. I want to mention the QR code option here that we've included as well. Again, the app is distributed via SMS or email, which means that all of the links to the apps are individual, and the app actually knows who is using it. So the app for me, it could list my first name and last name, my company name, and this QR code could be unique for me. So if I'm doing an event, I could have a ticket or a registration QR code there that could be scanned when people enter my event. So I know that they were actually physically there at the event. So you can use QR codes or kind of barcodes in the app, and these could all be individual based on, for instance, the person's email address. So that's the QR code block in here. In sections, you can add more content, obviously. So let's say we wanted to have a YouTube video on the About page. I'm just going to go ahead and click Add Block on the YouTube video embed, and it will appear underneath the article here. And then I'm going on to YouTube, and I want to bring in, maybe I want to bring in this video. Right, so here we are. I'm just going to pause that. And then I'm just going to grab the video ID, which is that little piece here of the URL. Just copy that and simply paste that into the YouTube video embed block here. Paste the video ID, save, and now the video will be embedded into the app, and it will actually play inside the app, and you will have the normal YouTube controls where you can go full screen, you can control the volume and so on right there in the app. So pretty easy and convenient to do, and it will run nicely in the app on your recipient's phone. All right, so let's come on. Maybe that's a good time to have a look at some of the questions here. Let's see. Here's a question from Anne. Is it possible to make different accounts for the users using the app? And a little more details on that one. I'm not quite sure what you mean with accounts, but let me know with a little bit more follow-up. Here's a remark from Stefan. The logos, is that news in this new template? Yes, actually, Stefan, thanks for reminding me. The logos, previously when you had to change the app logo for the home screen, you had to do it in the code section, but we've added the web app icons down here, so you can now easily change the icons for the home screen directly in the app here. So that's actually an update there. Thanks for letting me know, Stefan. Now that's possible. So if you have an app that you've used before, the next app you'll do, base it on the new template here, and you will have the web app icon options down there, Stefan. Thanks for reminding me about that. Here's a question from Kelvin. Can you change the shape of each button? I'm not actually sure. Here's where my limitations technically come in. How to do that? Can it be done? Absolutely, absolutely, Kevin. It can be done, and I'll see if I can find some inspiration on how to go ahead and do that. But again, everything here is HTML, so either our consultants or your web designer will be able to manage that in HTML. Maybe that's a good time to mention the logos there, the icons. I'm pretty sure that somebody's going to ask me in a second, how do I change the icons? Because if I'm not doing an event, why would I care about directions and speakers and so on? So here's maybe it gets a little bit hairy, but I promise you it's not that difficult. First and foremost, I'm going to enable developer mode over here, which gives me access to the HTML of the app. And then I'm going to look at a page called Elusive Icons. And what you're going to do is basically you're just going to Google Elusive Icons. And I guess kind of the first hit there is where you will want to go, because the elusive icon set is the icon set that we've built into the app. And if you click icons, you'll see tons of icons available here, and you can even search. So let's say I wanted a person like this. All I want to do is I want to grab this. This is the name of that icon. Just copy that, and I'll show you where to put it. So EL, which is Elusive Adult, is the name of the icon here. So in my app, I will go to the HTML tab. And here is where we want to focus a little bit, because this is where I want to find the icons. Again, I'm on the icons design here. I had list, icon, list, and icons. So what I want to do here is I want to find the navigation menu that's called icons. So I'm going to scroll down and look for that. Now it looks code and messy and all of that, and it is, but it's not difficult, so bear with me. So here I have icon list. So I'm going down even further, and I am finding icons somewhere down the line here. Navigation menu, icons. Okay, so this is the place where I want to change different icons. So let's say I wanted to change the speaker icon here to the person icon I just found before. So I want to find the section that is called speakers down here, speakers. And you see here, can I zoom in? Let me just see. No, I can't zoom in here. Here I have EL mic. This is the name of that icon. And if instead of this, I paste in EL adult, which was the name of the icon, and click save, it will change and be aligned perfectly with the others, right? So a small change in the code will change the appearance of your icons in the app. So again, find the elusive icon set, search for the icons that you want to use in your app, copy the name of the icon, find the corresponding place. Let's say we want the about section there to be this new one, and replace the name with the one that you just chose and hit save. That's basically all there is to it. So in case you had questions or wondered how you change the icons, there's that. And also I noticed that some of the guys from the support teams actually wrote a support article on exactly this. So if you go to support.emarketeer.com and search for icon or mobile app, you will actually have a complete step-by-step tutorial on how you change the icons on your home screen, whether it's the icons list or the icons home screen that you're using. So a complete step-by-step guide there to change icons and really make this app your own. All right. Let's see. All right, so let's go further down in my app here and see if there are other sections. The accordions, they are these sections called accordions. They look expanded when you're editing them in the app because you have both the headline and the text showing. So let me go back to content here. So you can easily see what's in the accordions, and the accordions on your phone, just let us go here to the frequently asked questions, will be this kind of expandable accordions as you are familiar with from other web pages. So just some of it looks a little bit different in the editor just because it's easier to edit and navigate here when things are expanded, and then you can look at how they work on the phone there. So you go through your the process of editing your app, on adding new images in your app and so on. You can just as normal, you can upload your own images, and the app will tell you whether they're a good fit size-wise or whether you need to resize them. Or you can use our image editor and bring some images that are relevant into your app just as easy as searching for them. There are more than 2 million stock photos in the image archive here. There are 900 or so icons and overlays, so you can really create a lot of cool images for your app content there as you go about designing your app. So just let me show you real quick how the image editor works in this scenario. So I want to replace this car trade show image, obviously, with maybe a cargo ship, as this is a shipping event we're doing. And I want to bring a nice cargo ship image in here. Right there, save and exit. It resizes it correctly into my app so it looks nice and crisp and brings the app into eMarketeer without further ado. So there are a lot of different use cases for bringing your images into the app and not having to worry about the sizes and so on, or bugs happening while you demo. Hopefully that will be carried through. Don't know what that message was about. So that you could be adding a lot of images into your apps. And again, I'm building this app now, and it doesn't have to be 100% done when I send it out to my customers. Maybe there are things unfolding during my event, or maybe I'm bringing in a new product into the product documentation app that I'm doing. And when I add content to the app, the content will be available for my users on their app. A good idea is to activate the refresh button, which is down here, refresh button. Because if your users have a cache on their phone browser, the app will be saved. So when they hit refresh, the app will update with the latest content that you have. So adding the refresh button is absolutely a good idea, and maybe making people aware that they could be hitting the refresh button there. Okay, so just let me show you how you go ahead and distribute your app to get the app onto people's phones. Again, you don't have to go through app stores. You don't have to know anything about the guidelines of the Google Play or the Apple App Store and so on. You decide when and how you distribute your app. Typically, as we're using a mobile phone, text messages is a great way to get the app onto people's phones, but also emails or QR codes could be used. So let's have a look at just creating an SMS for the app delivery here. And we're going to say app delivery SMS. We have different SMS templates, so you can just start from an empty one. We even have one called mobile app delivery SMS. You don't have to use that one, but you can start use it as a starting point. Grab the SMS. It has hi contact name. Here's the mobile app you requested. Maybe that's a bit stale. So here is the mobile app for shipping event 2022 in Amsterdam. And then it says, make sure to add it to your home screen on your mobile phone. Link to app. This is where you want to link to the app that you've just created. So I'm going to say insert link. It will show me the web pages that I have in my campaign. And I'm going to choose the webinar example app, which was the one that we were just on. And I'm going to say apply. And now that link is brought into the SMS. and I can preview the SMS over here. Now, the link may look very long and ugly when you're editing, but remember that the SMS editor automatically shortens the link. So it is still unique to every SMS that's sent. So you know who's getting the SMS, who's clicking the app, who's using the app. You can track all of that just as you're used to in eMarketeer. You can personalize the content of the app as well, just as you're used to with eMarketeer. Okay, so now my app delivery SMS is ready, and I can send that. I can schedule a send out, or I can send it out right away, or I can send it out automatically when someone signs up for my event, then using an automation to send out the SMS. I could also use an email, obviously, to deliver the app. Just editing, using a normal email, highlighting your app, and then the button here, just like you did in the SMS, you would link the button to a web page in your campaign, and you would choose the web page or the app that you've just created, and then send the email out. So let's have a look at how that looks on the phone. We're still here, right? So let's go to my inbox. Here's the email in my inbox. When I click get the app, it will open up on my screen, and I have the app here. Now, the first time I open the app, there will be a pop-up here saying, click here to add it to your home screen. Now, I've had this app open before, so that pop-up doesn't arrive, but just let me quickly jump into my photos here and show you, sorry. This is the pop-up. It's in Danish because my phone is in Danish. The message automatically translates to the right language, and it says, click here to add this to your home screen. And as people do so, just let me get to the app again. That was rather the email, get the app. They would click the home screen icon there. That's my wife and my daughter. I'm sure they had it to be on the webinar. I could say add to home screen here. And as they do, you will see the app icon, the app name. And as you click add, the app will go to the home screen there. So that's how the app is added via email. We also have the SMS here. Let's see. Here we go. Hi, Klaus. Here's the welcome to eMarketeer staff app. Make sure to add it to your home screen. And then there's the unique link. Just the same. I click the link. The app opens on my screen. The pop-up will show, ask me to add it to my home screen, and I'm ready to start using the app. So that's how the app delivery is handled. All right. Wow, time is flying when we're talking apps. Incredible, incredible. I hope that this is giving you some inspiration on what you could be doing with apps, guys. Let me just have a peek at the questions box because we're closing in on the hour, and I want to make sure that I get some of those questions answered for you guys. All right. Here's a question from Lena. Can you use HTTPS in your links? Yes, Lena, absolutely. The links to eMarketeer will be HTTPS, so that's not a problem. Here's a question from Florian. Just to be sure, is this included in eMarketeer or is this an add-on? I find it very clever. Thank you, Florian. I love that feedback. And yes, it is part of your eMarketeer account. So you may be using eMarketeer only for your forms or only for your emails, but you also have this awesome feature in eMarketeer where you can build apps and send it to your colleagues and customers. So yes, it's absolutely included. So go to town. Here's a question from Kelvin. How do we publish the app once we complete the development? Kelvin, I hope I covered that. The app is a web page, so it's accessed via the URL. And as I showed, you could deliver it via SMS or email, or you can simply, let's say you do an event, and on your booth, you would want to have a big poster with a QR code that people could scan to open the phone, open the app on their phone. You would simply publish the URL here. Let's go publish, direct URL, grab the URL, and then make a QR code out of this URL. So copy that, and you can fire that into any QR code generator that you could find online. QR code generator. let's see if I'm lucky. Go on, click here. Just paste in the URL in the QR code generator, save that QR code, and you can print it on your stand. People can scan the QR code and the app will be loaded on their device. Now, if you use this approach with the direct URL and QR codes, obviously the QR code, the app won't be personal because it will be everybody using the same URL for your app. So it, oh, maybe I ran into a little bit of a complicated one here. Never mind that. Just Google QR code generator and you can easily create a QR code that people can scan. Just be aware that when you do that, it is not individual. You can't have personal content in the app that is delivered that way. So Kelvin, a long-winded answer, but I hope it covered what you were looking for. Will there be an easy way to add a table in the app? That's a good question, Stefan. Right now, we have text boxes where you can paste in your text. So let's say a list of participants, for instance. Let's go ahead and see if we have an example like that, where you can paste in text. But again, this is HTML. So there is a lot of, sorry, my trackpad and mousepad is really playing tricks on me today. There's a lot of stuff you can do with HTML and a little bit of HTML competencies. You can go a long way, and you can have our consultants or the support team help you out as well. Just let me show you what I mean. So in the text area here, do we have here, for instance, participants? We have a text block where you can type in or paste in a list of participants, for instance. Now, and you asked for a table, and that's not exactly it. So let me show you a quick and dirty on how maybe to do something like that. Again, I'm no designer and I'm not an HTML knowledgeable person, but I'm curious. So what I have here is I've Googled HTML table generator. I'm not kidding. This was the first example that came up, HTML table generator. It allows me to take some data from Excel. So I'm just going to copy these first name, last name, and company rows. And then in the HTML table generator, I can generate a table from clipboard. Paste table data. I'm pasting the table data in here from Excel. I'm clicking load, and I'm getting a preview of what my table could look like. I can add styling and different stuff to it here. But the trick is, Stefan, that I get the code for this specific table. I'm going to copy that to clipboard. And then in my app, I'm going to go to the HTML section over here. You need to have developer tools enabled. I go to HTML. And instead of the content that is here, I'm going to paste in the content of the code rather that the table generator just gave me. And I'm going to click save and see what happens. It probably needs to be tweaked and designed and aligned a little bit. Let's have a look. But you'll be able to put in HTML tables right there. So this is a quick and dirty, done in 30 seconds or so. So you can see if you have a little bit more skills than me, or if you talk to one of our consultants, you would be able to do something like this. So there we go. Here we are. Now we have a table, and this is HTML. So you'll be able to do the stuff that you would expect with HTML. You would probably be able to add a sort functionality here on the table, so you could sort company or first name and last name or something like that. So yes, you can add a table. Is it quite straightforward and intuitive? Not right now. I hope that we will bring some new blocks into play here where this is possible. But you know, Google HTML table generator and have a go. So long-winded answer. We're at the hour, guys. I will keep plowing on because you guys have a lot of questions, right? But I just want to respect that if you need to drop off, you know that the recording will be there, but I will keep answering the questions here. So just before you leave, just want to let you know that we have tons of webinars on the eMarketeer.com/webinars page, where you can see our on-demand webinars. So check out that page, eMarketeer.com/webinars. Tons of content on eMarketeer or on general marketing topics there. And do reach out to us in the chat or via some of our other channels if you want help doing these apps and getting started there. So just let us know there. All right. And if you need to drop off, thanks for your time. I will keep answering questions here and stay on for a wee bit longer. Okay, so let's see, more questions. Is it possible to have one app in more than one language so that the user can change to a new language? Oh, I would love if some of my support or consultants were on the line here to let me know how that could be done. Sula, I'm quite sure that that would be possible. Maybe have a language switcher in the app, or maybe having the app know what your preferred language is. Again, you can personalize the content in the app. So if you know what the preferred language of your user is, maybe we would be able to change the content inside the app dynamically. So that's probably something to follow up on, Sula, and I will get you in touch with somebody who could have a better educated opinion on that one. Let's see, so here are some examples of apps. Travel examples are pretty common in your inputs here. For instance, family trips, friend trips, but even staff outings and so on. You could do apps for that. Where do we meet? Which train tables are we looking at, or which flights are we getting? Which hotel are we staying on? Great way to build an app and put that stuff out to your colleagues there. Human resource caravan in June, training sessions and times could be added to an app. Great input there, Kelvin. Elizabeth is asking about the QR codes. Do QR codes work to connect to the app? What I think you mean there is, if I'm reading that correctly, Elizabeth, would you be able to open the app via a QR code and just as mentioned before, grab the link to the app, put that into a QR code, and when people scan that QR code with their camera, the app will open on their phone. So yes, absolutely. Putting the QR code into the app would make it possible to scan the app using a mobile, using a QR code scanner, for instance, at an event or at a check-in, so you could know which individuals were actually physically on the event there. Let's see. Who can we reach out to if we need further assistance? Good question, Calvin. Just either in the chat box in eMarketeer down here, or at support@eMarketeer.com, or if you have an eMarketeer partner that is normally consulting and helping you out, you can reach out to those folks as well. So either in the chat box here or at support@eMarketeer.com. Now, if you want to have custom apps developed or have built new templates and stuff like that, there is absolutely a consulting fee involved. But if you just have a how do I do this kind of question, let us know and we'll be happy to get you going. It is really not that difficult. Let's see. Here's a great question from Core. Will you present user stats, insights, analytics for the app in a general and, if possible, on user level? Great question, Core. In eMarketeer, as you know, we keep tabs on everything that happens with your different components. So how many opens, how many clicks, how many page views, which user is using the app, and all of that stuff is recorded for the apps as well that you build in eMarketeer. So let me just have this page load, please, and you will see the reports component or the reports option under your app. And that will show you how many people click the different pages or use the app. Did they click any of the links inside the app? And it will also show you if they distributed the app via email or SMS. It will show you which individuals did what with your app. And even more, you can automate on that stuff as well. So if people click a specific button in your app, you can have specific things happening in the app. Just let me grab an app that has some traffic in a sec, and I can show you the reports. So absolutely, Core reporting is standard in eMarketeer. You can access on an individual level and on the app level to see how the adoption and the usage of your app was. Let's see, do I have more questions coming in? Keep them coming. Really a lot of inspiration on what types of apps you guys are thinking about. There are also examples of product documentation, like brochure apps or product instructions that you could put into an app and easily get out to your staff or your customers. If you've built apps or are just trying things out and you want a second opinion, send me the links of your apps. I would be more than happy to see what you guys are doing and give you some honest feedback on your app initiatives. So I don't care if it's a golf trip for friends or the warehouse staff app that you were talking about. Let me know. I would be happy to give some feedback on that. Okay, so let's see. Here is an example app. No, wrong campaign. Sorry about that. I'm snagged for bandwidth, so it's loading a little bit slow on my end here. Sorry about that. When you do some updates on the app that is already installed on the audience's phone, is the app updating itself? Thanks for that question, Florian. It depends on your recipients. Some of the phones out there, they are caching web pages to save bandwidth. So when they open the app, it may be cached on their phone the next time they open it, and at some point the cache will refresh. On some phones, the app will update every time they open up the app. And that's why it's a good practice to put in that refresh button, Florian, that I mentioned, so that people can open the app and click refresh, and then they always know that it is the latest content available. So that's the way to go about it. You don't need to redistribute the app. You don't need to send them a new app. The app they have on the phone is grabbing the content out of your eMarketeer account that you're doing. So if you update the app, those updates will be available in the app either right away or when they hit the refresh button there. Okay, so finally I made it into the report. This was the one that I just created. It will show you the number of visitors, total, unique, last visits, and link clicks. And you will also be shown visit reports down to individual level and link reports down to the individual level if you have distributed the app via email or SMS. All right. Guys, you guys have a lot of questions on this topic, and we are a lot of people on the webinar as well. It is really great. I realize that we are 10 minutes almost over, so I just want to make sure that I respect you guys' time and give you the rest of your day back here. So thank you so much for your questions, for your interest. I will go through the remaining questions with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that I've provided answers for all of them and gotten back to you with more details. All right, that's it for me today. Thank you for joining and for sticking around for so long on the webinar and for all of your questions and inspiration. I hope you found this useful, and more than anything, I hope that you get going with your first eMarketeer mobile app. Thanks, guys.